Good morning, my beauties, wherever you are in the world. Thank you so much for joining us for another episode of A Crystal Clear Mind. Today, I have the blessing of being joined by the lovely Jackie Routh. So, this is Jackie. Everyone say hi. Hi, Jackie.
Right.
Lovely to have you with us. Jackie is a really impressive woman, a woman of many, many talents. She is an auricular acupuncture therapist and very experienced Reiki practitioner as well. But as always, the person that can describe Jackie better is Jackie herself. So take it away, my lovely.
Oh, hello everyone. Thank you for joining us. So I just want to go back to what started me wanting to support other people and letting them know that the journey that they're going through is okay and that you can get through quite a lot of things. When I was 15, I became really, really ill, and I had to go into hospital. I was nearly at death's door, and I had to have 6 pint blood transfusion. I was on a very heavy menstrual period, and that lasted 3.5 weeks.
Oh, gosh.
Um, yeah, it was very traumatic. I was
Yeah.
quite ill. Always wanted to get out of PE because of that, and then people just thought I was making up excuses, but absolutely I wasn't. I went on that. I sort of had a, very low iron and couldn't even walk up one step as I was going upstairs. So yeah, my dad said, no, we've got to get you to hospital. So that's what happened. I had to have a DNC operation as well. So for people that don't know what that is,
Yeah.
I do have my little notes here with me, if you don't mind me just referring.
No, of course
But
not. Please.
literally at the age of 15, can you imagine how traumatic that was?
It's
You know,
awful.
it's a scrape of the womb. The doctors really thought I was having a miscarriage because of the amount of blood that I was losing. They really humiliated me in front of my parents, saying that I was having a miscarriage. I mean, I was not sexually active at the age of 15 whatsoever. And it's really taken quite a few years for me to get over that
Yeah.
traumatic, that traumatic experience for them to actually say that that's what was happening to
But also
me.
to not be listened to as well. Just be completely dismissed.
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
was so pissed. They actually said to my parents, right, if you'd like to leave the room, we'll have a chat, Jackie. Bearing in mind, 15 years old. And they actually was saying, now your parents aren't here, you can actually tell me. It's still really raw, you can tell.
Yeah.
And actually tell me if you know the real reason. But totally wasn't, And so the second option was that it was a hormonal imbalance. So that's really where we're at. Um, I went on the pill, so that disguised a lot of missed periods that I probably would have had going forward. At the age of 22, I was with my first husband and we was trying to have children. That wasn't happening. So you go on all the different Clomid and,
Yeah.
all that sort of thing. Had to go up to London quite a few times. And I went up to London on Christmas Eve this particular year with my mum. And to be told, it was one of the big hospitals in London, the infertility hospitals, to be told that I wasn't going to be having children. I couldn't have children. I had three options. One was going to be not to have children at all. One could be to have egg donation, and the other would be adoption. So that wasn't a very nice Christmas Eve present, to be
Did
honest.
you
I
say you
can't
were
even
22 at that point?
tell.
Oh,
22 years old.
that's a lot.
Yeah. So yeah, it was a really big thing. And at that, I'm 56 this year, well, 57, sorry, this year. And, there's a lot more out there for people now
Yeah.
that have gone through menopause, premature ovarian insufficiency, which is what I went through. There's so much support and help out there now for people. And, I think people do need to remember that menopause is a natural thing to happen to our bodies at a certain point in our age, a certain point in our life, sorry, and at a certain age. Yes, we do get the menopause affecting people just before 40, but you get a lot of that it affects before 30. And yeah, it probably did happen a lot sooner than 22, I think, but because the pill disguises a lot of things, doesn't it?
Yeah, it
So,
does. Yeah, it covers it up.
yeah, so, if I'd had a lot of support back then,
Yeah.
that what people have got now, I think my body would have been more accepting to different things. And, I certainly lacked a lot of estrogen. I wasn't told that, I needed to implement estrogen into my daily routine.
Yeah.
I did go on to HRTs, lots and lots of different ones, implants, patches, tablets, you name it. Had to have regular bone scans. And yeah, my bones, they were fine. And they said, oh, you don't need to be on HRT anymore. And that was it. But now I've got a knee replacement, I've got a hip replacement, and lots of
Well,
arthritis going on. But that must have been due to the lack of estrogen that I've
yeah.
received. So that's just telling you a little bit about my sort of background, trauma, shall we say, because we all go through trauma
Yeah.
to help and support others. So, yeah, do you want me to continue carrying on?
Yes, please. So, so we know that you are very experienced with your Reiki, and I know that
Yes.
you use it in your daily practices and your daily therapy that you give to people and so on. Um, but let's start with the auricular acupuncture therapy. So, probably not a term necessarily that everybody would recognize the name of. So, I mean, yeah, I would sort of start with the basics of what it is that you do with that because it's fascinating. Now you've explained it to me who didn't know. Like it's absolutely fascinating.
It truly, truly is. So just to backtrack 20 years ago, I was introduced to auricular therapy when I worked for Open Road, and I learned the 5 detox points. It's actually now been renamed to the NAD protocol. So the 5 points are the sympathetic, the shenmen, the kidney, the lungs, and the liver. So those 5 points alone can actually support anybody, absolutely anybody, because they just, well, I can just go through very quickly. I'm just gonna just like bring this
Yeah, we
over.
love visual aids. Go on, bring it in.
So that may front, but that is the 5 points. So that really is, those points alone are just amazing, absolutely amazing. And they've helped so many people come off their addictions, come off alcohol, drugs. And, it helps with losing weight. It's good for menopause. It's good for um, musculoskeletal conditions. It's good for emotional aspects that affect our bodies because we've got our second brain in our stomach. And so, how we're thinking and feeling and processing any thoughts, negative or positive, um, but they then manifest in our body, as we all know. And, those points to go in the ears are just amazing. So, are you okay for just like refer? So, the
Yeah.
sympathetic actually is good for stress, fight or flight. Um, and it prepares you for action. That sympathetic point, which is right in here, you might not be
Up
able to
there.
see, but right in
Oh,
there
right in
under,
there. Okay.
yeah, really powerful point. And then we've got the shenmen, which my ears are quite different, but you've got like the triangular fossa here, which is a triangular point. So
Yeah.
if you look your partner's ear, or you'll find that babies actually rub that point, and that actually is a soothing point to help them go to sleep. So we can do that too, and that's just an amazing
Oh,
point.
good to know.
That brings, yeah, so that actually returns the chi to your lower Dontial,
Yeah.
and it centers you, it anchors you as a person as well. And key chair, sorry. So it's good for panic attacks, hyperactivity. Um, it just prepares you for events, that does. And obviously, the kidney and the liver. Yes, we know what a lot of those organs do for us, but we also hold emotions in our organs.
Yes.
So the emotional aspect is fear, paranoia, mistrust, and low confidence in your kidney. With your liver, obviously, it creates anger, rage, violence. So liver obviously is related to people that do have alcoholic conditions and that. So if someone's really feeling angry at that particular point and they're going to go out and start drinking, they're going to get more angry. So, we do hold a lot in our organs, and by stimulating different points in our ear, I've learned the master points too. So there's over 200 points in the ear. So it's our ear is an upside
Oh my
down
God.
baby. It's an upside down baby. So this is all your brain here, and then all in here is all your organs. This is your back. This is all your spine here.
I'll
That
go on
that
that in a bit there. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
bit that's sticking out, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just so as a practitioner, I can look in somebody's ear and, tell a lot. So, yes, so 20 years ago, I was working for Open Road, and then I got reintroduced to it now, 2.5 years ago. I started, supporting a Sanctus Homeless charity. They were looking for somebody to be an auricular therapist, and I went, "I can do that. I'll retrain." So that's what I done. So I did support them quite a lot. Um, Obviously things happen in your life and, I had to take a step back. Um, and for personal reasons, someone close to me in my life was actually using their services, and I just felt that that was their place to be. So I just needed to sort of take a back step. So that's why I'm not supporting Sanctus at the moment, but I would love to. I'd love to carry on supporting them as a volunteer. So I'm back into practice. My practice has now changed from being a psychotherapist, EFT, Reiki, Indian hip massage. I just now do the auricular therapy combined with Reiki. And it's just been amazing. People think you're just stabbing needles in your ear, but you're actually not. So you analyze the ear, you can see if there's any redness, you can see if there's any protruding veins, because I can do a bleeding technique on that, because that's stagnant energy, stagnant flow going to that particular point through your body to that particular organ or emotion. The results have been outstanding, and it actually, someone said to me the other day, it actually feels better than a massage. It's so therapeutic. And people that don't like needles, I've got magnets and I've got seeds. So, um, but it's just, it needs to be implemented more out there, for the wider, population, really. The Chinese people are so healthy, and obviously they've been using acupuncture for years. So this is my passion, my total passion.
Which is wonderful. And you can see it when you talk about it as well. You really are very passionate about it. But I have to say, honestly, just listen to you talk and describe about it, it's already making me just so like relaxed and kind of dopey. Like, honestly, I can imagine that to just be so relaxing. I don't think I've ever had anyone touch my ears before, apart from, like a medical professional. I don't think anyone's ever had to touch my ears, but it does sound so relaxing. So, I mean, is there a connection, sort of similar to the chakras, sort of like within our ears, because you've got all this interconnectivity between the emotions on each point and an organ and a physical ailment and so on and so forth?
Yes. Reflexology, you've probably heard of
Yeah,
reflexology so you've got all the points of different parts of the body, on your feet. So the meridians go through our body and they have to end somewhere. They end in our ear. So, we're getting a lot of reflexology, practitioners coming through to want to do the auricular therapy as well, so that they can do the
taking
combined.
both
So
sides, yeah.
So with the chakras, I actually combine, if I told you, Reiki with auricular therapy. So I will do the treatment on somebody with the actual points in the ear, and then they have a Reiki session with me. So they have a 45-minute Reiki session afterwards, actually with the points still in their ears. So then I will amplify the energy. A lot of acupuncturists do use the crocodile clips with the TENS machine. Reiki is just the same, if not more powerful, I feel. Um, so obviously going back to the chakras, as you do the Reiki therapy, you then are working around those chakras anyway. So it's all interlinked. There's not actually the chakra points within your ear, but obviously the chakras go through all the different meridians that combine all of our body together. So as we know, as a Reiki practitioner, um, our hands go to areas that they feel drawn to and try to let the chakras move along and clear. Just likewise with the auricular therapy, they are taking away any stagnant energy flow. So that's all interlinked.
Yeah, which, I mean, that's just the bit that sounds lovely, doesn't it? Imagine having all that done on those points in your ear, and then also from the Reiki side through your meridians and your chakras here as well. And, but how cleansed must you feel when you walk out of your office?
Yeah,
You
I'm
must
just
be floating.
Just honestly, my practice is designed as a just like a sanctuary for someone that can just come in as soon as they walk through the door, they just feel relaxed, and we just have a little chat, and then we just carry on. It's just lovely, really beautiful, and I absolutely enjoy every single moment of it, because it's so fulfilling for me to see somebody coming into my room not looking very happy, in pain, and then they walk out actually saying, "Actually, that pain has been released. It's actually, feels much easier to
Yeah,
deal with," and
yeah.
it's brilliant. I've just been seeing a man just recently, really suffering badly with gout, and that can really affect the pain in your feet and different acids. And so I've seen him twice over a period of 5 weeks, and he's not on any medication at the moment because of his pain is manageable, and it's
Wow.
just outstanding. There's so many stories I could tell you, but I think we'd need to have, like, a whole week. I'm supporting my husband at the moment with diabetes type 2. I saw like some protruding veins going from the pancreas to the liver. So it's a bleeding technique. It's just use your little lancet. It's not, if you've been scratched by a cat, this doesn't hurt like that, I'll tell you. So it just goes in, out. And then I aim to put 5 drops of blood out of um, that vein, that redness where the vein is a lot more protruding, and that's what I've been doing. And his sugar levels have been coming down, so he's got to have a blood test soon with the doctors. So we'll see what they say.
Oh, that's incredible. Yeah, that's incredible. Diabetes is such a lovely one to be able to help as well where possible, isn't it? Just to just bring that down and make life a little bit more manageable. It's a very, very good one.
Especially type 2, because type 2 diabetes, you can actually manage that
Yeah.
with what you eat as well. So, yeah, I'm not necessarily saying type 2 diabetes 1, because obviously that is a very lifelong condition. But all of these therapies that we do, they're to enhance and encourage healing. And, we're obviously not taking away, what the GPs or doctors do. I'm not actually qualified as a doctor, but obviously I am qualified in what I do, and I'm very passionate at what I do. If that can help people along the way, that's I'm fulfilled with that. So
Yeah, no, which is absolutely fabulous. Absolutely love it. So, for the auricular acupuncture, so it can help physical ailments. We've got pain relief, and so on and so forth. Can
yeah,
it over time, as opposed to that sort of miracle cure of one and done, but like over time, over many sessions, can you actually do you see improvement in actual physical ailment? So we're not talking broken legs, of course, but you know what I mean. Do you find that people get results from that as well?
totally. So I can
Yeah.
refer to people that one of the ladies that I was seeing myself. She's actually a cancer nurse herself, and she's a really good friend of mine, my best friend Julia, and she was my case study. So I worked very heavily on her and with everything I could put into her. Wrist at the time. Well, she didn't at the time. She had a broken wrist halfway through, but the broken wrist we really worked on. And she thought, so she couldn't actually close her hands like that. After the session, with my beautiful tutor Wayne as well, he worked his magic on her because she had to come into, for me to have my assessment. And this is going back a couple of years now. So, but she actually had broken her wrist. She was going to have it operated on because it hadn't healed properly. She couldn't do that before she walked in. After she walked out, she was doing this with her wrist. She didn't have to have it operated on afterwards. So that was a real good bonus.
That's
She
incredible.
she was amazed by it, absolutely
Yeah.
amazed by it. Really feels that it needs to be implemented more into, everything within the NHS. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that stopped the NHS having to perform an operation on her, so that's
Yeah.
just
Which is great.
phenomenal. Another colleague of mine, she was working on one of her case studies a couple of years ago, and she was working on just the NADA protocol, the 5 points, and she was working around the I think it was the kidney area. It's like, yeah, it was definitely the kidney. And she took the needle out, and the blood that came out of that point was just, she was obviously prepared for it, but she could not believe what was happening. That obviously needed to come out because that lady, just prior to having some sessions with my colleague, was told that she had a kidney disease, and they didn't actually know how they was going to be able to support her. She went back to the follow up appointment with her surgeon, and they actually said, "We don't know what's wrong here because there's nothing wrong with you anymore." And I was just blown away by that.
Yeah.
So the blood that had come out of that kidney area was actually, there's something blocked there, something not working and wasn't making that kidney work properly. But yeah, with the auricular therapy, that actually helped and supported her through that.
Well, that's incredible. I mean, when you've got an open mind, you love stories like this, don't you? These are the wonderful ones that sound like pure miracles, but to us, it's just yeah, healing in a different manner. And I love
Yeah,
that. I love the prospect. Obviously, it doesn't always fix everything, but it's just nice when it does, you know?
yeah. And obviously there's people out there, sadly, that have got life limiting conditions. There's people that sadly, um, in palliative care, um, and auricular therapy, acupuncture, all of our amazing holistic therapies, alternative therapies are just phenomenal and amazing for these wonderful people. Because, with auricular therapy, there's points on the ear where you can actually help release pain. So if they're in a lot of pain,
Yeah,
you can
you can
actually,
ease that.
absolutely, and if it's helping them transition to where they're going to be going to next in a more comfortable way, I think that's got to be amazing.
Yeah.
Just to know that there's something there, not just medication, but alongside you can have holistic therapy as well.
Absolutely, and it is so helpful. I would imagine the auricular acupuncture as well as the Reiki um, is very helpful for that emotional state as well, isn't it? And I say that to a lot. I get a lot of fibromyalgia patients come in. And I say to them, it's not always about necessarily the physical pain that I'm going to try and help you with the Reiki or anything else. Sometimes I actually prefer to work more on how you're coping, your mental state, your emotional state, rather than your physical state, because with certain things, the pain's going to be there anyway, or the end result will be the same for them, medically speaking. But emotionally, you can also really work with that energy, can't you? To just, as you said, make that process a lot easier for them, less traumatic, less troubling, less difficult, And I think that's where I really love it is yes, we can work with as energy healers, we can, can't we? We can work with the physical side of anything as best we can. Um, but I do like dealing with people the way that they feel and how they're coping with things.
Totally. So with auricular therapy, when I say to people, well, you must come and try, come try it. Just, if you look at someone, that they're like struggling emotionally, maybe
Yeah,
stress, anxiety, depression, all the things that most people can experience in their day to day life at some point. I'm not saying every day, but at some point in their life. And I've experienced all of that, and knowing that what this has done for me, it's been a life changer, absolute life changer. And knowing that I can support others, it makes it even more life changing. And, you know, so with people with their very busy lives, perhaps traveling up to London or traveling to long distances, having that journey to get to your workplace, that's quite stressful in itself as well. And that's what I think is really important, to try and incorporate this into corporations, group settings. I've done group settings and it works amazing because the energy between each other are just like chilled and just experiencing, it's just amazing because you're not getting that stress from that person. You're not getting that anger from that person or that feeling of like, oh, depression. When you're having a group setting, you're all feeling the same and you're all experiencing the same. And it's
yeah.
just amazing,
It's like
isn't
a
it?
knock-on effect as well, isn't it? It's very contagious.
very contagious.
Yeah.
And, you know, you don't actually have to be ill as such. You don't actually have to have had a broken leg or something's wrong with one of your organs or, you know, this or that. Auricular therapy is like an MOT for somebody. You know, we have to MOT our vehicles. We have to definitely have to MOT our vehicles. Otherwise, we're going to get punished for that. You have to put oil in it. You have to put water in it. You have to put petrol in it. What do we do for our bodies to MOT ourselves? And that's, I think, the most important thing that I need to put out there for people. If you're MOTing your car, when did you last MOT yourself?
Yeah. Which is a great question. And I'm not sure how many people will be able to answer that so easily with fair, so no judgment to anybody at all, but sometimes I think that now our treats, our MOT, our self-care can be quite harmful. So it could be a night out, a night in the town, I'm gonna go get together with my mates and I'm gonna get bladdered or whatever it is. But or I'm gonna eat a nice takeaway, or you know, like it's all kind of like the wrong sort of self-care, isn't it? You know, that's very nice and comforting, but it's not your MOT. Your MOT is definitely this sort of stuff that boosts that self-care that becomes a constant in your life, isn't it? And it's definitely more than just having a meditation session or anything. All of it, chuck it all in. It all
Oh,
helps. And I agree
absolutely.
with you. You don't need to be poorly in any sense to do any of these things. A lot of people come to all of us, I would say, when there's something the matter. And you say to me, you do realize you can still have this even when there's nothing the matter. It could just be half an hour for yourself to feel amazing, the way you would for a massage, right?
Absolutely. So, you know, I always say to my husband, look, once I've seen someone, you know, and Reiki my room or whatever, you know, just to make it all nice and lovely, just to sort of clear any energies, I always say, look, come to the practice. I'll do some like, you know, ear acupuncture or, you know, just have a look at your ear. And he went, what's nothing wrong with me? Nothing wrong with me. And I go, yeah, but have it anytime you want,
Yeah.
you know? So, but I'm just so passionate about getting this out there, you know, and I'm sure with everybody that do their amazing therapies, they just want to get that passionate
Yeah.
out there, passion, you know,
Yeah.
and just, mate, I've been helping, you know, I've been doing some, like, as I say, group sessions, a local menopause group recently, and it was just so amazing. It was really lovely. They absolutely loved it. And so I think that's probably, I'm going to look at doing that more as well. I've recently had a couple of, you know, two people come into my practice. So they come along with their um, husband or their mum or, you know, and they just think, oh, actually, I'm going to sit here as well. So I think, oh, I'll put some needles in them as well at the same time. It's amazing. Especially when they say they can't relax and then within 5 minutes they're snoring. And I just think, yes, it's worked. It's lovely.
I think I said to you, didn't I? It just sounds very relaxing. I mean, I would never sort of imagine touching my ear would be relaxing, but when you're talking about it, and I can almost, I'm almost like imagining you doing it and sort of taking that
Yeah.
pressure and taking that weight off, and then at the same time you're getting then this huge Reiki energy session. It's actually making me just sort of like glow a little bit just hearing, you know, like it does. It sounds so soothing and relaxing, as you said.
Oh, it's
Even if there's nothing the matter, like if there is, then walk out lighter, and if there is nothing the matter, then walk out 10 times lighter.
absolutely. So, you know, people often come just for like a monthly boost just to make them feel like, oh, yeah,
Yeah.
okay. So with our ear, I haven't gone over what the ear is, have I? An upside down fetus?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. You did. Yep.
Yeah. So we've got our whole history of life in our ear. So anything that's happened, like trauma, any childhood trauma, any illnesses, any terrible memories that happened, that's all in our ear. And you can actually tell you know, a qualified practitioner can actually tell what's been going on.
Yeah.
And it's just amazing. You know, we go and have our hair cut, go to the hairdressers, we go to the barbers, we go to the gym, we go and play golf, tennis, we go to, you know, we get our nails done and all those things we do to make our outsides look lovely to
Yes.
everybody. what are we doing to our inside, you know? And that's really where this comes into play. Like other therapies, this is where it comes into play. So it's not actually about saying, "Oh, there's something wrong with you. I'm going to do a session on you." It's not about that whatsoever. It really is not. And it's just helping people, especially this day and age, with all the different, technologies that we deal with. It's just getting you back to that perfect form that you are, and just feeling a little bit. You can breathe better. You can,
Yeah.
weld a little bit differently. And actually, that thought that I'm thinking about only lasts 15 seconds. Why do I need to think about that constantly? Otherwise, it's going to be with you all day long, So that's
Yeah.
what's up.
Which is, it's just, yeah, it does. It sounds absolutely wonderful. And really, truthfully, before we met over the phone, I think it was one of the women in business sort of groups,
Yes.
wasn't it? Yeah. So before that, I had heard of acupuncture, absolutely, 100%. Knew quite a bit about that. Had never heard of auricular acupuncture. Now, if you think that I'm a person that swims in the same similar world as you, we share certain aspects that are very much crossing over with each other. And I love this. I love that I'm still learning all the damn time. I love it. Um, and it was amazing just listening to you talk about it. And it has been equally as amazing today listening to you talk about all of it now. That it does, it just sounds like something I should have, like, known years ago.
Uh,
Does that make sense? I really wish I'd known this.
so, we could do like a little exercise here. So, I mean, we've got earrings in and that, but if you're feeling really stressed, had a hard day at work, or even like with the children or anything, looking after a loved one that's not well, you need to have some self-care for yourself. And just by really massaging your ear and just pulling it and massaging all the different parts of the ear, you're going to be dealing with your whole body. You're going to be giving your whole body a massage, because you can go all right in, and all the different points, like all around your back, down here. This is your brain all here,
That's
and
actually
you can just,
that's what my husband does to me. He just does that. You know, like you do on dogs sometimes. Just rub their ears. Yeah.
you know, forget about, well, you definitely massage your feet because you've got all the points in your feet, but, do that, just give it a good massage, even just for like 5 minutes. You're doing something, absolutely doing something.
No, I love that. Yeah, no, I will definitely give that a go 'cause,
All gone,
yeah.
all,
Yeah, no,
so
I was
you've
gonna
got
say your ears are getting so red, bless you.
all, you're getting that cheek moving around, aren't you?
Yeah.
So just proving a point. So that's just, I'm off to supervision after this today, actually, and I just love going there because we're all like working on each other's ears, and it's just, you come away feeling fantastic and have a good night's sleep. You really do have a good night's sleep. It's just phenomenal, phenomenal.
Oh, that's
So,
incredible. And you're speaking somewhere soon, aren't you? Is it Rise?
Rise, yes, with Katie Oman, and so that's going to be in the autumn time. But I'm so excited about that. This is something that would have really been out of my comfort zone. Um, you know, talking in front of people would have just been, ugh. I'd walk out the door. I'd
Yeah.
feel like overwhelmed and everything. So it just shows you how you progress as a person. And if you're so passionate about something and you know that it actually works, you're happy to talk. And
Absolutely.
uh,
Yeah.
so, like talking about what happened to me, very young, at a young age, I'm seeing all the different menopause groups. I did used to be a moderator on the early menopause group many, many years ago, for the UK. And it was so empowering to know that we're all supporting each other. And there's so much out there now for people going through the menopause, lots of menopause groups. And I just, that it's just so empowering. But I just felt that I needed to speak about myself now because of what I went through as a younger person. And I'm sure there's a lot of other people that
Yeah.
went through the menopause as a young person that just had to get on with it. We just had to get on with it and deal with it. And can you imagine our brains weren't fully developed until probably 29. And I was still going through that. And I'm thinking, actually, what's happened to me? I just, I just want to share this actually, because I was thinking of starting to write a book, but I don't think I will. But, everyone you always used to say to me, you've got really good childbearing hips, Jackie. You're going to make a wonderful mum. Getting told that at such a young age. And
Yeah.
then actually, I'm not actually, I'm going to be a person that brings up someone else's children because I do have two adopted children now. So, and that is a different time I think we need to talk about because that's another journey. That's a really,
Well,
really
that's a
big
whole
journey.
subject on its own, isn't it? As a journey, and definitely
So,
from a healing perspective, from all of your perspectives, that is a huge
yeah,
story.
it very is. I mean, they're adults now, and we've got them as babies, and it's just been a very long journey. And thank goodness I've got a wonderful husband that we've just stuck through it thick and thin. And it's just been amazing, challenging,
Yeah.
frightening, upsetting. But yeah, that's another time.
No, that's lovely, and it's lovely that you adopted them. Did you say boys?
Boy and a girl.
Boy and a girl. It's lovely that you.
Needed.
Yeah.
So, and their additional needs, and have had to, we've had to support. Again, we never got any support for that. So that I think that would be
Yeah.
another time to talk, because obviously we're talking about the auricular therapy today, and the journey where I've come from to where I've got to now.
Yeah.
Why I'm so passionate about this. I walk past people and I think, I could really help you. But obviously, it's just if only they knew. And like you say, not a lot of people know what auricular therapy is. And it's just about getting it out there, getting it out there. So and that
Absolutely.
hopefully that's what I'm doing. So
Well, yeah, I mean, this is what I love about this podcast is so it goes out to a lot of different varied people, but we all share one thing in common, which is it's just that open-mindedness, that constant wish to learn, very curious. We want to find a way to feel better. We're looking for alternative ways to feel better. Um, Perhaps someone very intuitive is kind of picking it up, or someone that's very into energy healing, or someone that kind of likes things that are a little bit witchy woo, and so on and so forth. But we all share that kind of common ground of we're just looking for better. That's what it is. We just want to feel good and better than we do today. And as you said earlier, most energy healers, and I would say it's probably quite a high most, have got they've got a reason as to why they feel as passionate as they do. And then that passion is what drives them, as you said, to walk down the street and kind of look at someone and go, oh God, I wish I could help you. Like, I want to help you. I want to help
okay,
you feel better than you do now. But of course, you can't impose it on them. But
can't do that. No,
no.
at all.
And it has to come
Um,
from them as well. They have to, be willing and ready to make that move forward. But I think our passion it emanates from us, doesn't it? It resonates out into the world that we truly believe in what we are doing. And it comes off of you on the screen. Honestly, it's not just passion. You truly believe, we're talking as if it's not something that's real, but you truly believe in it. You have seen its abilities, you have seen what it's capable of. Yeah, and you want to share that with the world. And it's like flashing off of you on the screen. It's incredible.
so as you say that, my amazing tutor Wayne, he obviously sees lots of people, but he always often talks about this lovely man that comes to see him who was really struggling with Parkinson's, really shaking, couldn't drive, couldn't do his work anymore. He was a successful accountant. And he has got no more tremors by seeing Wayne. And he's back driving. He's back doing his accounts again.
Awesome.
And you hear all these there's so many amazing stories. And, you know, I think, if we could write a book about all of the amazing achievements that have come from auricular therapy, I think people will be absolutely astounded.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And, I thank Sanctus for needing an auricular therapist because it's introduced me back into it. And obviously I've gone that further and gone into the 200 points in the year. But, there's so many different protocols for anything. Like you say, fibromyalgia. there's protocols in the ear that can help and support absolutely anything. I mean, my book is downstairs. It's a very big book,
Yeah.
and absolutely everything in there to support.
No, it's incredible. I personally do find it very fascinating. I could honestly listen to you talk about it for hours, and I definitely want to come and see you because you are quite local to me, aren't you? You're somewhere Essex way, aren't you?
Yeah, Old Norton. So,
Yeah.
we're not far. We're in between Woodham, South Woodham, and Malden. So it's a lovely, picturesque village, and it's a very calming area. So it's lovely.
Yeah, no,
Um,
I think you'll find me coming to visit you.
so I am so passionate, and I want to share. Actually, I'm really passionate about this. I went for a volunteer interview yesterday at for St Bart's Hospital in London. They are actually looking for some volunteer therapists for Reiki. So I went along and I was shortlisted. And so I'll wait to hear back from that. So I am so excited about that.
That's
It'll be offering my
incredible.
2 weeks, but I am just can't wait to hear back from them. He did give me a few little indicators to say that your interview went very well. I think you're
Oh,
feeling
well
very
done. That's amazing.
we'll see. And somebody else might have just popped along after me and might just hit me off that track. But, we'll just see, at least I went there to know that actually Reiki and other, alternative therapies are being implemented to help with people in palliative care and to help them transition over to where they're going to next.
Yeah.
Some people, when they get to the point of knowing that they're going to sadly pass away, they don't want to take their medication. If it was the point, what is the point? But they're in pain. They don't want to engage with anybody. They don't, you, it's awful to even like try and imagine how they must be feeling. But by having alternative therapy, especially with Reiki and aromatherapy, they are actually starting to take their medication again, and they're actually look forward to their alternative therapy treatments. And I just think, how amazing is that?
It's
How
incredible.
you not only
Absolutely
help
incredible.
their loved ones as well. So
Yeah.
that's got to be up there for me.
Yeah, no, definitely, definitely. And I'm sure that we would all wish you the absolute best with that because that is absolutely incredible as far as opportunities go. I understand that it is voluntary, but it is just a wonderful way to spread that light and that love and that healing for sure. And to people that need it so much at that moment that yeah, no, I've got all my fingers crossed for you that, that you got that one.
And the fact that it's in London, I'm going to be out of pocket, but that's I'm happy to be out of pocket because I'm helping others.
Yeah.
So that's it. Um, just what I use in my therapy is I use different cards. Just like an inspirational card. I've got different ones, angel ones, and all those different cards. And I always used to let people just put their hands in my little bag with all the cards and that, and let them just choose what they wanted. But I've made my own. I had like this light bulb moment in January, and I just thought I'm going to make my own. So I've made my own. They're not angel cards, they're not tarot cards, but they're around the 5 points that I've been talking about with the Auricular therapy. So
Amazing.
5 suits, and there's 6 cards in each suit, and so they're out there now, and
That's
they're these.
amazing.
Are them.
And where can you buy
So yeah,
those? I take it obviously you can get those on your website.
you can get them on my website,
Yeah.
yes, and
Are they sold anywhere else at the moment?
I'm hoping that Phoenix Medical Supplies, that are actually the NARD GP, the only people that they use for their acupuncture needles, and they're going to be looking at putting them on there as well. So
That's
because it's all
amazing. Oh God, you've got a heck of a year ahead of you, haven't
yeah. And I was just going to sing. I did choose a card this morning, and it was like Infinity. It was called for me, so that was good.
you? That's brilliant. Oh, that's absolutely fantastic. Oh, well, Jackie, it's been such a pleasure having you on. Thank you so much for joining us today. And hopefully, not only have we sort of put out something that people didn't know about maybe, or that they've learned more about something they were touching upon. But more importantly, I kind of hope it's sort of inspired someone to look a little bit deeper at what could help them, even if there's nothing wrong with them. Like, I really love that, someone out there, because we've got some really way out there countries listening in, that maybe it just might be something that they now go off and find locally to them, which is amazing. Which will bring me on to my last question. I take it anything to do with this, obviously because of the needles, do you have to be present? You can't do it distant healing. It has to be present.
Yeah, it does have to be present. Obviously with Reiki, that's quite different. You
Yeah.
can do it distantly with Reiki. I've done that recently with my niece while she was having a really major operation, so that was phenomenal. But yeah, no, so with auricular therapy, you would have to be present unless, by all means, I've never done this before, but I would never say never. If they had some seeds on them and that, I could then show them where to put the seeds while we were chatting via Zoom. Um, I will never say never. So if somebody
Yeah.
really wanted me, then I would.
There you go. There we go. I put another thought in your head.
Any questions whatsoever? And I've got to apologise. I went to a concert last night, so I'll probably sound a bit hoarse at the moment.
Yes, and
So
do tell them who you went to see, though.
Brian Adams, so we were dancing to the summer of
Which
'69.
is
So that
so,
was
so worth losing your voice for. Honestly, I think I saw him, I don't know, maybe a good 15 years ago, but he was bloody brilliant. He really was. He was spectacular.
he has not changed. He was amazing.
And he ages so well as well.
It was brilliant. So I
And
don't normally so dark deep like this. Hopefully I've done okay.
you do. You sound lovely. Don't worry. We'd have never known.
Oh, thank you.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. It really has been an absolute pleasure, and it's lovely to see you in person on the camera. Sorry, I've got this really annoying fly that's just like buzzing around. Everyone's
What's
been
that
watching.
wall? What's the name wall me? That's what he's
It's all this
doing.
warm heat. They've come into the house. Oh God. As I
So
said.
say, oh, I've heard that about ear acupuncture. Oh, it's been amazing. Thank you for letting me speak on here. It's been a brilliant. Thank you very
No,
much.
it's been wonderful having you, and hopefully it's, useful information to somebody out there. And I will, as always, pop all of Jackie's information in the bio. So if you want to get in touch with Jackie direct, or go to her website and have a little nose around, or maybe have a look at the cards that she's produced, you'll find all of her information there. And until next time, take care.
Thank you. Take care. Bye.
Bye.